All right, 12631, it's Chess and Wine here. It is Friday, November 12th, 2010. Wanted to do a video that I thought was really worth pointing out something, even on a Friday night. The three-time leveraged real estate bearish ETF, ticker symbol DRV. Again, this is a bearish 3 times inverse ETF, so it's very aggressive. In the PPT, and obviously you're looking at the PPT page here, technically it's flagged overbought. Now that in and of itself is not a reason to act on it. You always, with the PPT, you always want to do your due diligence. You want to dig deeper into the historical score archives. And in this case, again, because this is an extreme score, overbought, we're going to go into the overbought, oversold extreme score accuracy. For again, this is a bearish inverse ETF here for real estate. And as you can see, there isn't enough information here as far as we haven't gotten these signals over here as far as hybrid oversold, hybrid overbought, technically oversold. Actually, there would only be a technically oversold here because this is an ETF. But we do, what's interesting is as far as technically overbought signals, and again, we just had one today, 5 days out, again, which would be Friday, November 19th, 5 trading days from now, we've had 10 instances where we've had technically overbought 3 times bearish ETF for real estate here, DRV. And of those 10 times where it's flagged overbought, 5 days out from now, it's been down 8 of those times. That's 80% of the time when it's flagged technically overbought, 5 days from now, it's been down. So again, the overbought signal has worked 80% of the time, and on average, it's going to be down, about 2.75% here, as you can see here. So, how do we act on that? Well, what we want to do in 12631 is we want to go even one step further. So we got a working thesis here that 5 days out from now, 5 trading days out, the bearish ETF is going to be down. So this would be a bullish signal for real estate. Now, instead of looking at the bullish 3 times ETF, let's just look at the regular ETF, the IYR here, which is, again, which is just a regular straight up way, not an inverse way to play real estate. And as you can see here, let's do some technical analysis on it. The IYR has actually been, despite all of the fundamental talk, the IYR actually took out its 52-week high long before the S&P 500 did it this year, and it did so on pretty sharp volume, especially here in mid to late October, where it saw this thrust up to fresh new highs. So again, this has actually been a market outperformer. Okay, now beyond that, what we've seen is over the past couple days. Actually, this past week, we had a very ugly day here on Tuesday where we sliced down through the 20-day moving average on pretty heavy volume. And ever since then, we've been kind of wedging down here the rest of this week, and we came down to just above the rising 50-day moving average here. So what the PPT is telling us, okay, is that real estate there's about an 80% chance right now that the IYR is probably going to find some type of tradable bottom here at the 50-day moving average. Now, beyond the PPT, technically, does this make sense? Well, the last time the IYR tested the rising 50-day moving average was actually back here in late September, although as you can see here, if you really want to be nitpicky, it actually didn't precisely touch it. So the IYR hasn't precisely touched the rising 50-day moving average since this leg up in the broad market began in early September here. So I think that's pretty interesting to note. So I think the basic idea is that the first time the IYR is going to touch this rising 50-day moving average in over 2.5 months, precisely touch it, the idea is that it's going to hold here. And I think you can easily, if you choose to play this, I think you can define your risk. You can set a stop loss. If you don't want to be too have too tight of a stop loss, you could probably set it down here around, let's say 53, maybe below 54, maybe 53.90 here. If you don't want to get shaken out, let your stop kind of get shaken out. But either way, you're looking for this pretty general area here of the 50-day moving average to hold, and the PPT is telling us again that 80% of the time, again out of a data sample of 10 instances, that indeed this 50-day moving average will provide a tradable bottom.